Hey guys, welcome back to the Cannell Video Query. I'm Chelsea Cannell, and if you've been here before, you'll know that one of our favorite things to do is answer questions from fans. And today we've got one from Steve. Now Steve is a retired LAPD officer, and he wants to ask my dad who the characters of Shane and Alexa are based on. He also wants to know, is there an LAPD officer or contact that you have met that's influenced you? We'll see.
You know, that's a really good question, Steve, because characters come from a lot of different places, and some of them are based roughly on people that I've met or gotten to know during my research. And in the case of Shane, he was sort of reverse engineered. I knew I wanted a very dark kind of lonely guy at the beginning of the novel because he was going to discover in Tin Collectors that he had a son, and that was going to change his whole life, and he was going to fall in love with Alexa. And I had all that plotted, and I knew that he needed to be on a journey, so I started him very dark and lonely and kind of a guy with a negative sort of a past, so that I could take him to another place in the 500 pages of the novel, or 330 pages of the book. It was manuscript, it's 500 pages. So that was my goal, and that's why I set him up that way. Alexa, I actually sort of based on a woman that I met while I was doing research for the Tin Collectors, which was about the Internal Affairs Division. And I was spending a lot of time at Internal Affairs, and I ran into a gal down there who was a sergeant and was an advocate. As you know, an advocate is a prosecutor for the LAPD Police Department, usually a sergeant. The advocates put on the cases against the accused officers, and the defense reps are the people who defend those cases, and they're picked by the accused officer. So I would go down and I'd watch these trials that were taking place at Internal Affairs, and I got to meet a lot of the advocates, and there was a gal down there who I thought was really an interesting character. She had, you know, had a lot of action on the street. She'd been a sergeant. She actually went from Internal Affairs down to 77th Division, which is a very active division, as you know, having been an ex-LAPD cop in our city here, and ran one of the, I think the day watch or the mid watch or something at 77th Division. So she was a really good street copper and a very smart advocate who was also taking law school courses and all of that. And I thought she was a good model for Alexa, and I borrowed a little bit from my knowledge of her to create the character of Alexa.